It's NFL prime time. We're always ready to rumble. In Philly, the Eagles used to be a contender. Now the heavyweight champs try to deliver the knockout flow. Will Reggie and the Packers also go down for the count? It's round 2 for Dion and Andre. Elway wants a rematch, but Joe can't answer the bell. Buddy Ball returns to the site of Buddy Brawl, but someone's missing. Have the Jets taken one too many to the head? They're no longer patsies in New England. Forget the tale of the tape. Blake's got him shaking in Cincy. But the Steelers have one of the best cornermen in the business. In Anaheim, the sacrificial ram returns. There's no sucker punching here. By unanimous decision, it's ESPN's NFL Prime Time. Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to Week 14 of NFL Primetime December. We start to have a good view on the playoffs and a good view of who might be on the outside looking in. And to help us look from the inside out and from the outside in, Tom Jackson, Robin Roberts, as usual. We have so many late games to tell you about, you're not going to believe it. First of all, here are those late scores. The Lions have just intercepted Brett Favre. They lead the Packers in a wild offensive game for the second time this season. 34-31, about 3 minutes ago, Detroit has the ball. Kansas City has the ball at the 2-minute warning, but deep in their own territory. Broncos and Chiefs tied at 17 all. John Elway has been carted off with a knee injury. Giants and Browns, 13-13. Leroy Hoard touchdown just a few minutes ago. So the Giants, looking to spring the upset, now are tied with the Browns under 3 minutes to go. The Colts have gone into Seattle, and it looks like they have beaten the Seahawks for the second time this year. Of course, you know the problems the Seahawks have had this week. Certainly understandable. Colts lead at 31-13 with 5 minutes to go. The 49ers, well, for a while, looked like Atlanta would hang with them. Forget about it. Niners lead the Falcons 43-14 with 8 minutes to go. And the Oilers led at the half, but who would have guessed the Cardinals would score 28 points? Certainly not the Schwab, as the Cards now lead the Oilers 28-12, under 4 minutes to go. Jim Everett, nice homecoming for him, as he and the Saints lead the Hartford Rams 31-15 with about 4 minutes to go in that game. Of course, the biggest game in the history of Sunday Night Football, the 8 years we've been doing it here on ESPN, perhaps the biggest game in Western civilization, or at least the AFC in the 90s. The Buffalo Bills at 6-6, backs against the wall, against the Miami Dolphins at Joe Robbie Stadium at 8-4. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, Mark Malone on the call. Let's go down there for a preview, guys.
Thank you, Chris. We have a huge matchup in the AFC East tonight as the 8-4 Miami Dolphins face the 6-6 Buffalo Bills. To call this a must-win situation for Buffalo is an understatement. But they have had great success against Miami under Marv Levy. And for more on that, let's go down to the field and Mark Malone.
Well, thanks, Mike. The Bills are 14-3 against Miami since 1987 and a remarkable 7-1 in games played here in Joe Robbie. You go back to their first meeting in Buffalo in October, and the Dolphin killer, Thurman Thomas, led his team to a 21-11 victory. He had 125 yards on 31 carries and 2 touchdowns. That's got the Miami defense concerned because in that game, Buffalo scrapped their no-huddle offense after the first series and went to a 2-back power-style offense. We talked to defensive coordinator Tom Olivadotti of the Miami Dolphins. He's not sure which offense is going to show up here tonight. On the injury front, wide receiver Irving Fryer of the Miami Dolphins did not practice all week this week because of a bruised knee. However, he is expected to play today. And when you go on the other side of the football, Jim Kelly should get some speed at wide receiver. Don Beebe returns for his first start since suffering a concussion back in Week 10 against the Jets. Bad news for the Bills, however. Their starting inside linebacker, Mark Maddox, will not play. His replacement, Keith Goganis. And that embattled offensive line goes through yet another change. Left guard, Corbin Lucina, is out with a broken foot. He'll be replaced by Jerry Krafts. And, Chris, as you notice, I'm carrying an umbrella. Threatening skies here. It's been pouring off and on with gusty winds. Weather could be a factor.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. So, guys, it's coming up at the top of the hour. A little wet sledding tonight for the Bills and Dolphins in a Mondo game here on Sunday Night Football. When we return, Mondo games all over the NFL the first Sunday in December. Boomer, could he lead the Jets back against the Pats, or would the Patriots keep on winning? Stay with us.
Russell Athletic. For really tough athletic wear that can survive anything, get Russell Athletic. get tough.
Welcome back to NFL Primetime, the three close games. Let's get you caught up on what's going on. 2-minute warning at the Silverdome. The Lions are about to punt. Brett Favre, 2-minute drill. Can he bring the Packers back? The Lions lead it by a field goal. Broncos and Chiefs are 17-all with 1:06 to go. Kansas City with the ball, but deep in their own territory. Looks like that could be headed to overtime. Giants and Browns, 13-all, 13 to go. Giants have the ball inside the Cleveland 20. There's a timeout call. Now, DeLuiso, the long kicker, kicked a short field goal earlier in the game because Treadwell's been struggling. We shall keep you posted. When we return on NFL Primetime, the Pittsburgh Steelers knew if they could win today at Cincinnati, they'd clinch a wild card berth. 3 years coaching. Would it be 3 playoff berths for Carr? This ball would love to play it on his home park. Step one, get rid of the Bills. Has a chance to maybe do that tonight. Dolphins, Bills, Sunday Night Football, top of the hour here on ESPN. Welcome back to Week 14 of NFL Primetime. Well, the little secret that is the Pittsburgh Steelers is now out. They pulverized the Raiders last week on the West Coast. They've been on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Obviously, you can hear Dr. Hook sing it. They'll be on the cover of the Rolling Stone any week now. But even the game Bengals knew all about Carr. Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers starting Neil O'Donnell. First time in 3 weeks after 2 starts and 2 wins, and a good job by Mike Tomczak. Opening kickoff, the #1 pick, Charles Johnson, receives it in the drizzle that became a heavier rain at Riverfront, aptly named, and returns it 71 yards, all the way down to the 20-yard line, so the Steeler offense gets a jolt right away. Sets up on 3rd and goal, air bam for the touchdown. Bam Morris, Steelers lead at 7-0. So he bams the ball. Kenny Anderson certainly knew what he was doing at quarterback. He's the quarterback coach of the Bengals. Gives it to the youngster Jeff Wright. Blake sends it to Carl Slim Pickens. He beats Deion Figures, number 21, for a big gain of 57 yards. Same drive, 3rd and 4. Blake goes against Figures again, goes to Pickens, slims it in, and the Bengals have tied the Steelers. Could they pull an upset? It's 7-7, 4 straight 100-yard receiving games for Carl Pickens. Then the Bengals do some driving to the goal line. But Derek Fenner, they just can't get it moving, Tommy, against the Pittsburgh defense. And then on 4th down, watch the pursuit from the top side of your screen. It's the blitz. It's Lloyd. Blake is rolling out. He throws the ball down, and Bill Cowher's team goal line stand. They lead at 14-7 at the half. They just looking stoically in the rain. What rain? The Steelers kept it on the ground all day. Bam! Morris, left side run. And the Steelers figure they'd give it to? Bam! Morris, right side run. And then, boy, that works. Guess who we're going to give it to the next time he wears number 33? It's bam! Morris. He runs for 8 yards. Touchdown, 21-7 Pittsburgh.
Yeah, great job of blocking by the front line. Eric Green, the tight end. Leon Searcy, the tackle. And then Justin Strelsick, the guard. Look at the hole they opened up. And Bam Morris doesn't need a whole lot of room right here. Just kind of walks on into the end zone.
Meanwhile, Rod Woodson, so very dangerous at corner. Jeff Blake looking across the field. Oh, look at what's to pick it up. And he could go all the way. Touchdown, 31-7 Steelers. And then the blitz. Woodson, but they blitz corners from the inside. They drop nose tackles to play pass defense. Dom Capers, Bill Cowher, the Steelers defense, they know what they're doing, and they've clinched the wild card spot. Steelers 38, the Bengals 15, the first 5-game winning streak for the Steelers since 1983. Kind of a workmanlike day for O'Donnell, but a big day for the... And you know what, Tommy? Pittsburgh smells it. You can sense it.
Well, they play great defense. The front seven puts tremendous pressure on the quarterback. Sacked Jeff Blake 5 times today. And the sign of a good defense or a great defense, as is the case with the Pittsburgh Steelers, is the kind of defense you play down around the goal line. They turn that game around with the 4 goal line plays at the end of the first half.
Let's point something else out. Foster didn't play today. Bam Morris, as you said, 108. But here's something you don't see. John O. Williams, second good game running the ball as the complement back, had 60 yards and some good blocks. So 2 guys running out of the backfield. That'll make O'Donnell's job a little bit easier if they can't key on just one. As for sacks, the Steelers lead the NFL. 5 more today. They have 50. The team record. Now, this does go back for team records to the 70s when, oh, by the way, they had a pretty good front 4, as I remember. The team record 52 back in 74. They already have 50. When we return, the Patriots, former Steeler Leroy Thompson, P-Men, could they get over 500? Could they win their 4th straight? Could they really get in the playoff hunt against the Jets? Welcome those of you to watch them upset the Cleveland Browns and knocked the Browns out of for 16-13. Brad Dom DeLuiso with a 33-yard field goal in the final minute of the game, and the Giants have won 3 straight games, all on the road. Lynn Elliott is lining up to try and kick a field goal a little over 35, 36 yards with 2 seconds to go to try and give the Chiefs a 20-17 win over Denver. I tell you what, we're going to give you the other score, and I'll tell you what happened. Well, never mind. The kick is up. It's blocked, and we are going to, I always wanted to do play-by-play in the NFL. I finally have my chance. We're going to overtime, Denver and Kansas City at Arrowhead. The Green Bay Packers, Brett Favre, could not lead them on a 2-minute drill. The Lions have taken over on downs, are currently running out the clock, and the Lions will move to 7-6, a crushing defeat for the Pack. 34-31, Detroit will win it. Highlights coming up. Jets and the Patriots each entered Sunday's game at Foxborough at 6-6, but a question of momentum. The Patriots had won 3 in a row to come from nowhere to get in the playoff hunt. And last week, the Jets suffered a loss against Miami that, frankly, since the merger, has been the history of their franchise in a microcosm. But this guy, his history, no apologies. Art Monk, you saw Steve Largent in the upper right. Monk catches a pass early. 177 straight games Monk has gone a pass. He and Steve Largent tied at number 1 on the all-time list. Congratulations to both classy future Hall of Famers. Meanwhile, Leroy Thompson, a ground game for New England, Tom.
Yeah, establishing the ground game. Sam Gash, the fullback here, out in front, throwing a tremendous block to get Leroy Thompson to the sideline for big yardage.
Leroy ran well, but an up and down first half. Here's a little pass from Drew Bledsoe, and he's hitting a fumble, and Jeff Lageman recovers for the Jets. So Bill Parcells, the squad, turn the ball over, and boomer to Art Monk. Well, Monk paying big dividends for the Jets this year. 15 yards, 7-3, the Jets lead in the second quarter. But Parcells says, you know, I like the way you're running the ball, Leroy Thompson. Let's go back. 3rd and 5 at the 31. Look at Kevin Turner block the fullback, block Marvin Jones, keep the drive alive. First down by Thompson. And Bledsoe, Vincent Ultimate Frisbee behind 2 safeties, 16 yards, 10-7, Parcells and a P-man. Later on in the first half, Drew Bledsoe is such a strong arm that he forgets to get a go into it. He throws off the back foot. James Hasty makes the pick. Jets 26 takeaways last 8 games leads to a field goal. Pete Carroll and the Jets and Bill Parcells and the Patriots tied 10-10 at the half.
Yeah, Tim Gold here, spot shadowed in the middle of the football field. He would break his leg on this play. You see him come to the outside, and right at the end of this play, very awkwardly falls on his leg as he rolls over right at the end. You take a look at that leg that flops around. Bad break.
That's a tough scene for a classy player, Tim Gold. Well, watch this now. Pat O'Neill lines up for what looked like a long field goal. Instead, it's a pooch kick and a great play by Todd Rucci to down it at the 1-foot line. 3 plays later, Boomer picked off by Ricky Reynolds. Touchdown. 17-13 Pats. So the great job on the pooch kick turns into a touchdown.
Great job of the Pats defense following the eyes of the quarterback to the football. Boomer Esiason looking left, looking left, looking left. And Ricky Reynolds with a nice play with his hands and a nice trot into the end zone.
So the Jets now down, trying to come back. Johnny Mitchell out for a pass. Boom! Myron Guyton nails him. And Parcells' team playing defense. And I guess he gave Bledsoe an earful. Marion Butt gave the Jets an earful, rumbling down to the 3-yard line. 3 plays later. Leroy, watch 78 Bruce Armstrong. Boom! There goes the block. Get out of here. Thompson, touchdown, 20 carries, 80 yards, and the New England Patriots are back. They have won 4 in a row now, so a 3-6 starts is now 7-6. The Jets fall to 6-7. Forget it. The Patriots win it by the count of 24-13. The Jets ran for only 64 yards. I mean, here's a team that out-physicaled New England the first time they met in mid-October and ran the ball. Johnny John, today they run for only 64, and the Patriots won for 135.
Yeah, you think back to last year and Bill Parcells, the kind of football that he would like to play. Very quietly, building a sound front 7, a good defensive backfield. And now if you get the running from Butt, Leroy Thompson, all of a sudden you can see that the future for this ball club may be right now.
And you get on that roll, which they are, and had the Jets won last week, who knows where their head would be at, but we know where it's at now. A long, although short, if you follow me, plane ride from Foxborough to New York. Bill Parcells, has he done this before in December? Well, with the Giants, obviously he was with the Giants before 86, but 86 to 90, his last 5 years there, 15-4 in the month of December. Patriots last year, they were perfect in December, or just about, and they're 5-1 overall last year and this year. So in December, Bill, 20-5. when we return. Big game in Philadelphia. Could the Eagles break off the 3-game schneid by upsetting the Cowboys, or the Cowboys just in a different class?
Look what Daddy can juggle with his Nokia cellular.
For the Bills, they need a strong game out of him tonight if Buffalo's to stay in the hunt. Miami wants to shackle them at the top of the hour on Sunday Night Football. Oh, Robin Roberts with us now. I guess Santa came early in the NFL schedule department this year because the Skins and the Buccaneers play each other twice in a 3-week span in December, and game 1 was at the Sombrero. Doesn't get any better than this.
Not for the Bucs, who are, of course, trying to snap that little 10-season losing streak. Not much history between these two, though. They've only played 4 times, with Washington winning all 4 games. But these Bucs would be different because on the heels of that overtime victory over the Vikings last week, these Bucs knew they still had a shot at snapping their 10-loss season streak. So we go to Boomer's favorite place. Hi, above the big, look at that big sombrero, yeah. Brian Mitchell needing 34 yards to surpass 2,000 all-purpose yards in the season. Look what happened on the opening kickoff. Curtis Buckley just drills Mitchell, causing the fumble. The Bucs would recover a definite candidate for bumps, bites, and bruises, TJ.
Yeah, every now and then you can tell the severity of a hit because the player is out on his feet, and literally that's what happened to Brian Mitchell right there.
But he would get back up and play again. Bucs try to capitalize. Craig Erickson drops back to pass looking for Courtney Hawkins, but Andre Collins is there, heads towards pay dirt. It's going to take him a while, but he's going to go 92 yards. The interception return for the touchdown. Oh, just got in. How'd that happen, TJ?
Yeah, Andre Collins, again, a defender doing a great job of reading the eyes of the quarterback. You watch Collins get back into his drop here. He never takes his eyes off of Erickson, never even sees the receiver, makes a great grab, takes off for the end zone. Of course, the Skins would try to come back, but you watch the Buccaneers here with the swing pass to Eric Rett for 9 yards, and then Eric Rett would finish it off with a 2-yard run into the end zone.
Making it 10-7 Bucs. Washington doing it on big plays. Heath Schuler airs it out to Desmond Howard. Gets the ball, 81 yards for the end zone. And folks, Desmond Howard is fired up. In the first half, only 15 plays for Washington, 2 first downs, but 21 points in the lead. After a scoreless third, we moved to the fourth, still 21-17. Heath Schuler driving in Washington again, but he gets flattened by Eric Curry. The Bucs recover at a field goal, close within 1. Then Eric Rett takes over. A run for 22 yards on the Bucs' final drive. 192 yards in a day for Rett. That's a rookie record. Under a minute to go, and Erickson sneaks in for the win. Yes, Sam, I am. Bucs win it 26-21. The Bucs' second straight win. That hasn't happened since September of '92. The first win ever over Washington. It's their 5th straight loss. The Bucs vault to 4-9. They host the Rams next, then they visit RFK, and then they end the season against the Pack.
Hey, well, I tell you what.
Not impossible.
They have not won 2 in a row since Sam's 2 first games there in '92. They've won 3 in a row since their last playoff year in '82.
Could be the year.
Ooh, with Hartford coming to town, that will be very, very interesting. Yeah. All right, well, a game of somewhat more interest, certainly when the schedule came out, certainly a few weeks ago. I mean, December 4th, Philadelphia Eagles have been pointing to this one ever since they were 1 game back of the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East a few weeks ago. But things have changed. No Aikman for Dallas, no problem. As for Philly, the offense has that odor of a month-old cheesesteak. And here we go from the vet. Troy Aikman sitting out a 2nd straight game. Rodney Peete, thumbs up to him. Cares about the quarterback when you have Emmitt Smith. Now he runs left. I want you to notice how long it takes for him to get hit for the first time. That's a 14-yard gain. There's a line of scrimmage. Let's see, 5, that's a 10. That's 12 yards before he's hit, Tom. That sets up Peete over the middle of Michael Irvin. And not a great-looking pass, but a pretty good-looking receiver. 7-0 Cowboys, 20 yards. Peete to Irvin.
Yeah, the tight ends here do a great job of clearing out underneath. You see him going downfield. Novacek right there to the right side of your screen. The nice slant by Michael Irvin underneath and into the end zone.
We saw Jason Garrett do this on Thanksgiving. Throw it up deep and let the big guys leap. Michael Irvin, actually good coverage by Michael Zordich, but Irvin with the strength, the height, and the concentration to make the catch. And that'll set up Emmitt Smith. Look at the block there by Newton and Irvin. It's a 4-yard run, 14-3, Dallas. But Randall Cunningham, the team has been on an offensive funk. Could they get going, Tom?
We talked about the fact they had to find more ways to get the ball to Herschel Walker. There you see the underneath handoff. And then the shovel pass, which works in the NFC for another 14 yards.
Walker and Smith's first half yardage about the same. Third quarter. Look at Emmett. Left side, there's Newton, Johnston. Well, he, again, over 10 yards before he's touched. Then, Emmett, screen pass. Watch Michael Irvin blocking downfield. Right there, enough to screen McMillan. So again, Emmett, big yardage down to the 6. Then, Emmett, right side, untouched. I mean, my God, they don't even need to launder his uniform. 21-6 Cowboys in the third. But Randall wasn't done. Play action. They can pull out these big plays like this. Randall to Fred Barnett. Touchdown. Beats Larry Brown. What a pretty good day, but not on this one, Tom.
Talk about a great play fake. Just watch Charles Haley here as he runs right by the football, and nobody throws the ball better on the run than Randall Cunningham as he finds Fred Barnett right there.
So the 21-13 lead. First TD for Randall in 16 quarters. Dallas kicks a field goal. 24-13, 11-point Dallas lead. Cunningham will go to Barnett. Now, Kevin Smith, the young corner, aggressive, going to take a chance. He misses here, but remember this sort of effort. Barnett out of bounds after a first down. Randall, some people call him Maurice. It's 5 yards. Maurice Johnson, 24-19. They missed the 2-point conversion. Jeff Seidner on the punt return. Like it about race the defense, but John Jett makes enough of a delay so that Dixon Edwards and Brock Marion, 31, can make the tackle. That was big because Randall and Darren Woodson, similar type of play. He picks it up and let it go. He can't go. Oh, no way. Randall can't get him. Watch Charles Haley on James Joseph. And it's boom. Get out of here. Charles in charge. And it's a touchdown, and the defense is sealed it, Tom.
Yeah, and what an ill-conceived play we're going to see from the Eagles right here. You see at the top of the screen the swing by James Joseph. No blocking out in front of him. Ball thrown behind him, and it would not work.
The Cowboys go on to win it 31-19. 14, you see the numbers in the red zone. 14 straight wins against the NFC East. They've clinched their third straight NFC East. They now up their mark to 11-2 heading into a Saturday game against the Browns. They win it 31-19. Emmett, though, did not have, the biggest upset is he did not have 100 yards against Philadelphia for the 6th straight game. What's the matter with him? He only had 91. Tom, this just in, they're good.
Well, not as much of Emmitt Smith as we're used to, but Alvin Harper, Michael Irvin. You know, in the last 2 games, we talk a lot about Troy Aikman missing from this lineup, but with Rodney Peete and Jason Garrett, respectively, in those 2 games, 72 points.
Well, against good Ds.
Yes,
right? Against
2 good defenses.
from Green Bay and Philadelphia. Well, one thing Emmitt Smith is doing, Tommy, with those touchdowns you saw today, he has a shot as we go inside the numbers. He has a shot to get the record for most rushing touchdowns in a season. I mean, it's a flickering record right now, but John Riggins in the 83 Redskins season they got back to the Super Bowl had 24. Joe Morris had 21 for the Giants in 85. You can see now Emmitt is tied with the legendary Jim Taylor and the Earl of Tyler and Chuck Muncie for 19, so that Emmitt Smith is 5 shy of the record set by John Riggins. Later, Chiefs, Broncos, thriller at Arrowhead. We'll be back. The Detroit Lions outlast the Green Bay Packers 34-31. Highlights later. And game still going in the NFL. 8:04 to go in overtime. The Broncos have just punted the Chiefs to the ball on their own 24. Tied at 17, Denver and Kansas City. That's Bono and Millen at quarterback in that game. Well, for years, it was Jim Everett at quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. But for the first time, Everett playing in Anaheim as a member of the loyal opposition, the Saints. You know he was chomping at this one, Robin.
He wanted to come back for this game, and that he did. An NFC West battle of sorts, a battle to get out of the cellar. Both the Saints and Rams 4-8 going into this game. The Saints love L.A. They had won 7 straight at Anaheim dating back to 1987, and back they came with Jim Everett. And the fans remember him on the Saints' first drive. Everett completes to Torrance Small up the middle, 21-yard gain. Then Everett hands off to Mario Bates. Gets outside for the first down. Then Everett off to Bates again, but this time he gets in for the score. The Saints' longest scoring drive of the season, 11 plays, 99 yards, eating up just over 5 minutes. Closing seconds of the first quarter, Saints punting. Todd Kitchen back. Muffs the punt. A scramble recovered by Othello Henderson, butts the ball ruled dead. Go back to the 45. That turnover resulted in this in the second quarter. Bates, 11 yards, his second touchdown, 14-0 Saints. Rams still trying to get it together. David Lang coughs up the ball. Othello Henderson is there again, but not so fast, TJ.
Yeah, Saints ball, but Othello Henderson picked the ball up in a crowd. You can watch him right here. Ball pops out, and right there, referees ruled down by contact.
It really didn't matter. First and goal from the 1. Who do you give it to? Yes, Mario Bates. He had 3 touchdowns coming into the day for the season, and 3 touchdowns today. Rams still struggling. Chris Miller back. Darian Connor forces the fumble. The Saints recover. Then Everett goes to work. To Michael Haynes. In the end zone, the route was on. The Saints win it by a final of 31-15. Everett, 13 of 22 for 161 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Chris Miller was knocked out with a concussion in the fourth. 31-15 is the final. At 1-11, the Oilers needed something to get fired up about, having Buddy back in the House of Horrors. That should do it. His return to the Astrodome. The Oilers D comes up big, though. Lamar Lathan sacks Jay Schrader in the end zone. 2-0 Oilers early. More of that Houston defense for Buddy. Schrader goes right. Intercepted by Chris Dishman. And he returns it 36 yards for the score. 9-0 Oilers early on, and a little tribute to Buddy Ryan, TJ.
Yeah, Schrader under heavy pressure here by Kenny Davidson and Glenn Montgomery. Throwing the ball as he's running away from the line of scrimmage. Chris Dishman with a nice break and the easy touchdown.
Just like that. And today, for some reason, the Oilers not looking like the dogs of the NFL like they have been all season long, but the Cards come back. Second quarter, Larry Centers closes out a 12-play, 69-yard drive with this 1-yard touchdown. Hey, don't get too comfortable, guys. Cards take advantage. Third quarter, Schrader hits Gary Clark in stride, 43 yards. Fourth quarter, they switch sides, but not momentum. Schrader hits Gary Clark, a 13-yard strike. Arizona on top, 18-12. Billy Joe Tolliver out, Bucky Richardson in, didn't really matter. Terry Hogue, the INT, and returns it all the way to the Oilers' 17-yard line before he's finally knocked out, and that set up Larry Centers again. Cards coming back strong for Buddy. And nobody sitting comfortably now. Where'd they go? Come on. 30-12 is the final. Larry Centers with 2 touchdown runs make that 9 straight losses now for the Oilers. Boomer?
Let's go out to Candlestick Park for the 49ers and the Falcons. Dion against Andre Bad Moon Rison. Remember what happened the last time. This time, the Falcons pretty much stayed away from Dion. Rison only passed on him when the first half was was behind him, didn't make the catch. Meanwhile, Ricky Running Waters, he's been hot. The Niners have been hot, looking to win 8 in a row. Look at Waters leap and chuck and jive and run for yardage.
Yeah, great job. You see Ricky Waters here lined up behind tackle Steve Wallace. Look at him wait a little bit on the block. Steve Wallace turns up, and then Ricky Waters does a great job of accelerating through the hole. Shows his athleticism as he gets over a few people.
49ers with a 3rd and 1. Jumpy Geathers stops Waters short of a first down. They went for it in 4th down. Didn't convert, so the Falcons early on figured they had a shot here. Next play, let's go deep. June George says Jeff George in the shadow of your own goalpost. It's Terrence Mathis, the diminutive one. Only has Eric Davis to beat, but look at Davis run around Burt Emanuel and make a good hustling play to eventually save it from a touchdown. He does go 81 yards, but this time it's Emanuel that gets the touchdown from George. Nice play. 7-3 the Falcons. 49ers, though, George Seifert's club answering. Steve Young. All he's done the last 7 games, 17 touchdowns, 1 interception. Pretty good, huh? To Brent Jones. Why is he open, Tom?
Falcons caught in a zone defense. You see Clay Matthews coming over to pick up the tight end. Starts to settle just a little bit and then realizes I better get on my horse and run, but it's a little too late. Brent Jones with a nice catch of a very well-thrown football.
Then 2nd and 3 at the 12. Young, quick to the right flat to John Taylor, makes the move, does the rest. Touchdown, 10-7 San Francisco. 3rd and goal for the Niners. Steve Young right in, quarterback sneak. Young 7 rushing touchdowns this year. That's a career high. Falcons defensive end, Chuck Smith. We need to adjust the contact lens. I'll tell you what, give that guy a Christmas bonus because it worked. Adjust the length. Look at him go. Look at him make the moves. Look at him outrun Barton. Look at him get past one. Wow, man, he's like a running back in the end zone. And it's a 17-14 game. 21 INTs for the Falcons, the most in the NFL. They're within 3. But their upset hopes ended right there. William Floyd inside handoff. Good run down to the 5. Led to a Young to Waters 2-yard catch. 27-14 at the half. Jeff George frustrated.
Yeah,
half.
the luxury of having Deion Sanders on Andre Rice and blanketing him like that all day.
Fourth quarter, Niners by 20. Young pump face. Jerry Rice, look at him go. Make the move on Scott Case. Skate him around another man. Skate around another man. Down to the 9. Next play. Young. Rice. Touchdown. And he's just 63 shy of 200. Oh, man, it was a bath today. As the 49ers bathed the Falcons 50-14. I think they made their point in 2 games, beating them 92-17. The Niners, like the Cowboys, are 11-2, and they get the feeling already at this point of the season that after the Niners and the Cowboys, everything else is just a light. We'll be back to a wild game between the Pack and the Lions at the Silverdome. 68 points between these two the first time. Could they get close this time? I'll give you a hint. Yes.
Do you forget everything if you...
Their teammate Mike Fryer, who was paralyzed following a car crash on Thursday. Chris Warren would not start but did play wearing a flak jacket. Second Seahawks possession, Warren would carry the load as usual, going for 7 yards. That led to a KC field goal. On the ensuing kickoff, Ronald Humphrey fumbles, and the Seahawks' Terrence Warren recovers. Next play, Seahawks don't waste any time. Rick Meyer to Paul Green, the 18-yard strike, 10-0 Seahawks, and only took them 11 seconds. Meanwhile, the Colts, the Magic Man going from them again, Don Mikowski, gets absolutely nailed by Terry Wooden, and Jim Harbaugh would have replaced him for 1 play. And on that play, with Harbaugh in, Marshall Faulk breaks it 45 yards for the touchdown. Faulk, the rookie, the 4th Colt to go over 1,000 yards for the season. 10-7, Seahawks in the lead.
Talk to Marshall Faulk about his best asset, Robin. He says his vision. Everybody here drive blocking on the Colts line. He does a great job of picking a hole, and then once he gets into the open, it's about a 4-3-40.
Second quarter, it's still 10-7 Hawks. Rick Meyer intercepted by Ray Buchanan, who returns it 37 yards for the touchdown. Keeps going and going until he gets in the end zone. The 4th straight game with an INT, tying a club record set by Charlie Stokes back in '71. What about it, TJ?
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to Meyer for stepping out in front of Jason Belser. But he got his hand stepped on right there. Minor injury, fracture to that left thumb.
The Magic Man comes back and strikes to Sean Dawkins for the score. And the Colts go on with a 31-19 victory. The Colts scored 17 points on Seahawks turnovers. And Boomer, of course, it's tough to come back and play after what happened on Thursday.
Yes, you certainly can understand. That was a good game of the Seahawks playing as hard as they did. Rob, the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions, each at 6-6. But with Minnesota's overtime win over the Chicago Bears here on ESPN Thursday night, both teams still had a chance not only to make the playoffs at 6-6, but maybe even skate to home ice advantage in the Norris division. The winner of this game could win it. Mike Holmgren has beaten Wayne Fontes 5 of the 6 times they have played. Packers first drive, Lions blitz, Brett Favre. Oh, Anthony Morgan from
John Adams High School, Cleveland, Ohio.
7-0 Pack. Lions are trying to get a field goal, but then the swing kickoff, Robert Brooks gets a seam. Number 30, Corey Harris, helps with a late block downfield. Look at him block right there, and look at him go. He could go all the way. 96 yards, 14-3 in favor of the Cheeseheads. Wayne Fontes says, oh my God, we feel like Limburger. But the Pack gets the ball back. Brett Favre kind of lobs this one. Sharp went deep. He lobbed it short. Robert Massey picked it off. And it cost the Pack immediately. A couple of plays later, Dave Craig in a different offensive team with him at the helm to Herman Moore against Doug Evans. touchdown, 8 TDs, last 6 games for more, 14-10, Pack lead on the board.
Yeah, a play we're seeing more and more with the attention given to the bump rule. Evans here 6 feet tall, but you have more at 6'4". It becomes a jump ball in the back of the end zone. More comes down.
And a nice throw, Tommy. Lions get the ball back, drive to the 13. Barry Sanders. Look at him squirt. Look at him dart. Look at him dance. Look at him score. 17-14. The Lions lead for the first time. Bryce Pop can do nothing to stop Sanders here, but Favre can. Beats the blitz to Sterling Sharp. 7 touchdowns in the last 3 games for Sharp. 21-17 Pack. This game is wild. Favre took a beating, but threw the TD. Then Craig, tackle eligible. Scott Conover. Tommy, the Pack can't defend a big guy, can they?
Yeah, and you watch Scott Conover here with Reggie White on his face, does a great job of selling the play for 1 step and then sliding out for the pass. Good set of hands.
So 24-21 Detroit at the half. Holmgren's Packers kick a field goal to tie it. Then on the next drive, look at the blitz. Favre stands in to Anthony Morgan. Second time they've hooked up for a TD, 47 yards, 31-24. Pack.
Yeah, watch Robert Brooks at the bottom of the screen. He's going to set a little screen pick here for Anthony Morgan. Right there, shields the man off. And you can see the difference that makes in coverage as he beats his man by about 6 yards to the end zone.
Fourth quarter now, Lions will kick the field goal to draw within 4, 31-27. Then Barry Sanders on his own 21 makes the cut left. Then cuts upfield. Then darts through George Ice Keys. And look at him go. Sanders is running all the way for 63 yards before he's knocked out about to the 14. Get it down to the 1. Then we don't need dancing. We need power. Derek Moore into the end zone. And the Lions lead it 34-31. 4 touchdowns for Moore on the year. So just under 2 minutes to go, though. The Packers have the ball after a Lions punt. And we've seen what Brett Favre can do. Detroit remembers what he did in this building in the playoffs in this very situation last year. Favre from his 21, complete to Brooks, 20-yard gain. Chris Jackie got good range. Can he get in there to tie it up? Then the Sandman, no. Broderick Thomas hits him, and the ball is out of bounds. Incomplete on 4th and 17. And the Detroit Lions, boy, the Pack beat him 38-30. Lions come back to win 34-31. A great home-and-home affair, but it's the Lions that are 7-6, and the Green Bay Packers fall to 6-7. The Giants and the Browns. The Giants playing the 3rd straight road game, going up against old friend, the Natalie-clad Bill Belichick, Pepper Johnson, Carl Banks. But Dave Brown showed a maturity we haven't seen much this year from him. Look at him complete to Mike Sherrard, 38 yards against a tough defense, and a team that's won 5 straight at home. That would lead to this Giants, Brown, Aaron Pierce. Tommy, the Giants lead on the 10-yard play.
Yeah, great job of the Giants using Dave Meggett as a decoy here. You're going to see Meggett come out of the backfield. He's going to draw the attention from the Browns defense. You see Pepper Johnson start to work his way to his left. And right there, Aaron Pierce slides in right behind him into the open zone for the touchdown.
With the score 7-6, the Giants. David Treadwell on for Dan Reeves to kick a 37-yard field goal. He misses 5 of his last 8. That being his 3rd in a row, and Treadwell nor Reeves is very happy. 3rd quarter now, the Browns are driving. But another guy that Reeves had played for him in Denver, Michael Brooks, doing a job here on this play for the Giants. Intercepts Vinny Testaverde. Michael Jackson hits him. Ball comes loose, but the Giants maintain the ball. Giants possession now. Watch Eric Turner step in front of this wounded duck by Brown. And Turner stumbles but brings the ball back to the 33-yard line. But Cleveland returns the favor. Vinny looking for Eric Metcalf. And Metcalf makes the moves as he can, but he's stripped by Jesse Campbell, and the Giants recover. Giants playing Belichick-type opportunistic defense. Giants take advantage. Brown, Mike Sherrard. Oh, what a stretch for 25 yards. Then, short field goal. We've seen it up at Treadwell. Brad DeLuiso, 25 yards. It's 10-6 Giants looking for an upset. 4th quarter, another field. It's 13-6. And Bill Belichick says, let's get going. So Testaverde goes to the rookie receiver, steps up in front of the rush to Derek Alexander. Oh, what a beautiful throw and catch down to the 5. Next play, Leroy Horde goes left. Is Vinny getting in there for a block? And we're tying at 13. But Dave Brown on 3rd and 9 to Sherrard, first down. That brings in Brad Dom DeLuiso. He just squeezes it through on the left side. It's not really a fatso, but it's good. And the Giants win 16-13. Now, who would have guessed that 3 straight road games after 7 straight losses, the Giants win all 3 and knock the Browns out of a first-place tie with the Steelers one game back, though, the Steelers in the AFC Central. You know, of all the things we've seen, and I know Detroit with Dave Craig is a much better ball club right now, but Green Bay Packers are really puzzling because next to Dallas and San Fran, I'm still not sure that anything going right. They're not the next best team, but obviously 6 and 7 says they're not, Tom.
Well, certainly, I think we talked about the development of Brett Favre and how it would go this year. And throughout 3/4 of this season, he struggled a little bit the first half of the season, but you saw him come along in this last quarter of the season. And with that last quarter of the season, the defense has disappeared, both in terms of run defense and pass defense.
4 out of the last 5 games for the Pack, they've had abominable halves on defense. Yes. And but they get Favre on track, like you say. They didn't count on this one. Now at 6 and 7, they're in trouble. When we return, overtime at Arrowhead, we'll show you what happened between the Broncos and the Chiefs in a critical game in the AFC West. Stay with us, please.
Watch how fast Dristan nasal spray works.
What? You think he wants to beat the Buffalo Bills? I think so. Dolphins, Bills, Sunday Night Football, ESPN, top of the hour. Be there. Aloha. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Well, arguably the best game of the year thus far in the NFL. Week 7, Monday night. Joe Montana, last-minute drive to beat John Elway. Chiefs 31 and the Broncos 28. Denver at that point was 1 and 5. Things have changed. Broncos 6 and 6 going into the rematch at Arrowhead. And for Kansas City, no Joe. Instead of Montana with a sprain of the upper foot, it's Steve Bono playing. Elway to Shannon Sharp. He was hurting, but made the play down 18 yards. Reggie rolling on a Rivers into the end zone. Loose ball. Kansas City recovers. Wade Phillips thinks it's a touchdown. Marty Schottenheimer disagrees. What is it, Tom?
Well, it looks like Charles Mincy right here may have stripped the ball out just before Rivers crossed the goal line. But those calls do balance out.
Well, it's a touchdown for Rob Lytle, and Denver leads it 7-0. Then Bono got a chance, avoids the pressure, and he's got you, babe. It's Eric Martin. Takes it 61 yards, all the way down to the 4-yard line. Joe Montana, his good buddy Steve Bono. Joe says, way to go, like we talked about a big guy. Then Bono to Kimball Anders. Oh, but Kimball couldn't come up with the candlestick, and they settle for a field goal. Late in the half, Broncos 3rd and goal to 1. Leonard Russell. Looks like a touchdown, Tom, but here's that close call you were talking about.
Did I say balance out? As we watch Russell here get toward the end zone, you can see that it looks like half of his body is laying in the end zone. No touchdown for the Broncos.
He's no Larry Canada, Tom. And then Reggie Rivers stopped short of the touchdown on 4th down. A goal line stand for Kansas City keeps him within 7-3 at the half. 3rd quarter, the Broncos at the 25. Elway, Shannon Sharp. Look at him break 1 tackle, break 2 tackles. Let get it go. Touchdown. 14-9 at this point. Denver, who's come from behind. Now they lead 17-9. And then, they say our love won't pay the rent. Willie Davis. It's money spent. 63-yard touchdown. Bono wants to go for 2. Same combo. Bono to Davis. And they come up with 8 points and tie it at 17 all. John Elway injured left knee, a twisted left knee. So it's Bono and Hugh Millen to decide this game. Under a minute to go, Kansas City with the ball. Bono, Willie Davis, 23 yards. Look at the play. He skates. He moves all the way down to the 23-yard line. 2 seconds to go. Field goal attempt by Lynn Elliott. It's blocked. And we go to overtime. Broncos' first possession for Wade Phillips. Hugh Millen. Say it ain't so, Hugh. He fumbles, and Joe Phillips covers for the Chiefs. And field goal range again, but you don't see it. Marcus Allen fumbles, recovered by DS-49 Dennis Smith. 3rd and 17. Millen avoids 2 rushers, skirts out of the pocket, and very Elway-like picks up a 1st down. It's 20 yards, setting up from 35 yards out. Jason Elam. It's good! The Broncos have beaten the Chiefs and have made each team 7-6. Broncos 20, the Chiefs 17. Millen and Bono decide it, and 17-17. Elam inside the 40-yard line in the field goals this year, so they made the special team play, and Kansas City could have a wild game, Tom.
Well, a wild game, and we can only now look to the future. The Broncos have gotten themselves back in a position to get to the playoffs or a possibility of making a run for the playoffs. But the next couple of weeks, the Raiders, the Niners, I would shudder to think if they have to play those games without John Elway.
The Chiefs, Tommy, were 4-2. They're now 7-6. They got a Monday nighter at Miami. They won't know till late in the week if Joe can go. I mean, Bono was all right, but Joe is Joe. And you know, they all of a sudden have gone backwards themselves. A couple of teams that figured assured of the playoffs. Now who knows if either will get in. When we return, game ball on a wild Week 14.
Announcing the AT&T Family Men
6 trying to stave it off against the Dolphins, who want to put them out of the playoff picture. Bills-Dolphins resume a great rivalry, top of the hour from Joe Robbie Stadium. Time for game balls here on NFL Prime Time. And hey, team wins 2 in a row for the first time since September '92. Eric in the red zone. The rookie running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 40 carries, 192 yards, and a touchdown. Second best in Buck history behind James Wilder's 219. 192 yards for Eric Rett. Got to be one of the best performances by a rookie running back ever. Rob?
You got that right, Boomer. My game ball goes to one of Buddy's boys, Terry Hogue. A great day. First play of the third quarter, he picks off Bucky Richardson to keep the Cards in the game, down just by 2 then. And then he comes up with another big pick when they're protecting the lead to help Buddy's return to the Astrodome be a successful one. That win over his former team. There you see his numbers worthy of my game ball. TJ?
Love to see great defense, and that's what you see from the Dallas Cowboys. Tony Tolbert here knocking down a pass from Randall Cunningham. He would have 2 of the Cowboys' 5 sacks today. The other 3 would go to Charles in charge. Charles Haley coming up on the backside of Randall Cunningham. You take a look quickly at the numbers there. 5 sacks, 10 hurries, 14 knockdowns. Chris?
Week 14, 7 picks for touchdowns. Dallas wins the East. Pittsburgh in. San Diego with a win Monday night can win the AFC West. Thanks for watching Primetime. For Robin Roberts,